Hello everybody, how are we all doing? It's me, Mr. Flynn. No darkness for today. He's a little bit tired from his journey back from Insomnia this weekend, so I'll be taking you for round number 2 here at the lovely track of Las Vegas. First time that Phoenix Sim Sport is racing here for the lovely Tier 1 lot. I did hear that Tier 2 was a little bit chaotic, so we'll see how it goes for the Tier 1 lot today. A quick description about the track then. A total of lovely 17 corners, a lot of flat out straights, shall we say, so lots and lots and lots of opportunities for lots of overtaking, especially on the exit of 12 down to 14. A massive straight there. If you're close enough, you might get a move, maybe 2, maybe 3, but we'll see some lovely 3, 4, even 5, maybe 6 wide moments heading into number 15 and 16. The lobby is slowly getting there. We have a slight EA problem today, so they're just getting the other drivers that need to be in, and once we get going, we'll have some racing action to look forward to, especially that it's an wet qualifying session followed up by a lovely dry race. Also, what's interesting, safety car is turned off today, so that does mean no safety car, so you only get one chance. If you crash, you're out, and if you crash or you spin but you're not out, be at the back of the grid, yeah, it might be a little bit interesting. Vers, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Ferrari 1-2. I'm ready and excited. Fingers crossed that'll be a Ferrari 1-2. We'll see how that goes. Matt, welcome to the stream, buddy. And Fat Cat as well. How you doing? Welcome on in. Hopefully everyone's having a lovely Sunday. And I guess we can get started then and get on to the lovely gameplay screen. As you can see there, just a few more drivers to get in the lobby and we can crack on. So, yeah, whilst we're waiting, like I said, how's everyone's Sundays going? How's your Easter as well? Happy Easter from all of us at Phoenix Sim Sport. Hope you're having a lovely Easter and got lots and lots and lots of chocolate. Myself, I got a fair amount of chocolate. Some of my other mates got alcohol instead. I'm not too sure what's better. I don't know if it's alcohol that's better or if it's going to be the chocolate that's better. But I'll leave that debate up to you guys in the lovely chat. And we'll get on with some racing action very, very shortly. Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. I don't know why, but there's not a huge of likeness for this Vegas track, but in my opinion, I raced this circuit, and even though it's not the grippiest circuit, I absolutely love this circuit to bits. So I'm gutted that I missed the tier 2 race to race Las Vegas, but I am very, very happy to be honoured to step in for Darkness and do some lovely commentating for the Tier 1 lot. And I believe it's my first time doing it, so a little bit of the nerves are shaking in, but we're starting to calm down just a little bit, and we'll see how we get on. I see, Matt. Interesting, interesting. That's what I like to see. Alcohol is better, Viper Strikes is saying. I mean, you got a point, but I'm not an alcoholic and I don't drink alcohol, so yeah, I can't really say much about that debate. But we're getting into the session now, loading into the lovely short qualifying session with a wet quali. So we'll see who the fastest driver will be on track. And do not worry, because Parc Ferme is turned off, which does mean that you can put on a full inter setup, and then when we get into the main race, you can change your wings all over again. But do wait 60 seconds as well. Pretty please if you're watching while racing. Hoping Brizzen will do well today. That's what I love to see, Matt. I love to see support for some of the drivers, you know. Brizzen is a very competitive and fast driver, so I'm hoping he does well today. We'll see how they crack on. We're going to get started here in 10 seconds around this lovely, very, very, very expensive rich people area, shall we say, with a lot of casinos, as you can see there in the background. And yeah, I hope everyone's brought an umbrella, because it's going to be a little bit soggy and wet. That's all I'm saying. Let's get into it, shall we? Here we go. Any moment now. Come on, game. You know you want to. There we go. As you can see then, wet conditions on the circuit. And let's get everything set up on my side. There we go. That is pretty much everything done and dusted. And we now just wait for the drivers to leave the garage and crack on. Bit of the screen cut off? Is there? There is. What on earth is that all about? Give me a second, chat. Let me just fix that. Cheers, Joe. I don't know why that's done that. Oh, that'll be why. It's my capture card settings. That should be a little bit better now. Let's have a look. There we go. I think I fixed it. There we go. You can see everybody now. You can see a lot more of the screen, which I think you wanted to see. So there we go. Let me just get Twitch on my phone because the stream has now been cut off completely by my OBS. So let me just get on my phone and get Phoenix up and we get on with the circuit because I hear a few drivers leaving the pit box to get to the track. Dead comms? Oh, Webby, man. You weren't saying that yesterday about ACC. You weren't saying that yesterday, my man. Right then, so we've got a few drivers on the track right now. Lots and lots and lots on their outlaps. But the first driver we're going to go on board with is going to be Cos in the Aston Martin, making their way through 12, heading down to 13 now. But of course, as we know, this is the most, I would say, important straight of it all, because this is where you're starting to get your tyres nice and warm, prep them, get ready for your best corner exit, because you're straight onto a flat out exit of a corner and then a very heavy braking zone, and as you make your way to 1s, 2 and 3. So let's see how the lovely Aston Martin driver gets on, making his way through 16 now and almost very, very shortly up to 17, and then heading to the first sector across the start and finish to start his mega lap time. Here we go then, heading towards turns number 1, 2 and 3, braking just before the corner, because if you don't, then you're going straight on, which definitely isn't ideal. We saw a lot of that in tier 4. Cos now making their way out turn number 4. Obviously DRS is deactivated as it's in wet conditions. So far no major mistakes, which is good to see. So we're quite lucky to see that, shall I say. We have got a driver ahead of Cos, though, which I believe is going to be a McLaren driver of the lovely Panos, currently chilling in P3, yet to set a lap time, though. So hopefully Panos will move out of the way very, very shortly. But we're almost coming to the end of Sector 2 now, and Cos making his way through 8 and 9. That corner there, especially that chicane part as well, is a very difficult sector, but Cos doing the absolute best as he can, and amazing as always, has managed to perfection that sector, shall we say. Now making their way through 12, a very tricky braking zone, because if you get it all wrong, you could be doing a Lando Norris, and just before the corner you could be smacking the wall and heading sideways into the barrier. You could be going straight on in that corner, or you could get all that corner correcting speed correct, or driving into the wall, which I did when I first drove around the circuit of Las Vegas. But Cos going purple in Sector 2, now in Sector 3, heading towards 14, 15 and then 16. Looking very, very mighty from the Aston Martin driver. However, in behind him, I believe, is going to be the lovely Ferrari driver of Brizan or Tix behind. I'm not too sure, so we'll see in just a moment. It's a 141.880, and it's going to be Brizan crossing the line very, very shortly, and he goes P2, a 141.731. Driver's now crossing the time. Gravy in the pit lane. Tachus crosses the line. He does a 143.395. So we are seeing a difference in lap times, but they will get a little bit quicker as the track starts to ramp up just a little bit more with a bit of track temperature, a bit more burnt of rubber on track to slightly warm up the circuit just a little bit, and grip could come into play here. And Julian crossing line P2 at 142.222. However, nobody able to defeat Cos yet as Fat Cat now crosses the line, but his lap time was invalidated, so he's going to go for another attempt to see how he gets on. We're going to have a Haas car of Boosty cross the line very, very shortly, but his teammate Skill Issue goes to the top of the leaderboard at 141.380. Boosty looks like he's on a flyer here. getting past the Red Bull, making his way into the tricky braking zone of turns 14, 15, and then making his way out of 15 towards 16 now. And then up to 17 very, very shortly. Boosty, a very competitive and a quick driver. One to known to make a few mistakes, but able to correct himself. He only goes P7 at the moment, a 142.802. Who else we've got crossing the line? We've got Panos potentially crossing the line very, very short. He's gone board with the McLaren driver himself. The McLaren TP in the chat as well, rooting Panos on to do well for his team, as there's only one McLaren driver today, and Panos crosses the line. It's only P10, a 144.830, and some very slow lap times from Soybean, which is quite surprising, and Shanae. So hopefully they'll be able to find a little bit more lap time very, very shortly. Fat Cat once again invalidated on their lap time, so yet to set a provisional valid lap time. Maya now, though, in the Williams on their first flyer attempt, almost into that wall there, making their way into turns number 7, 8, now leaving to go to 9. Very, very close to the wall, almost touching it ever so slightly. If they did, they would have lost their front wing and lost a humongous chunk of time. Boosty bins it as always. That is true. I have seen that quite a lot in Tier 1 streams. He does boost it for accidentally overtaking the safety car, even though it was an in-game bug, but you get the picture. We'll see if he bottles it today as Maya makes her way past the Red Bull driver, going very, very slowly. It looks like there might be Soybean on the track, prepping for a provisional attempts to go for another lap, as a 2:06.846 is not a very competitive lap time, as they're currently in P12. We know Soybean can go a lot quicker than that. But Maya on for a very good lap time, going a little bit deep there, though, heading into 14 and 15, managing to not invalidate, though. Quite surprised that was actually counted as track limits. But Maya still in P16, yet to set a lap time. We'll see where they go up in the leaderboard. They go to P11, a 143.818. Who else we got on the circuit to start a lap time? We've got Gravy out on track, as there's a flying Alfa Romeo making their way back. It might be Tatus on a provisional quick lap, and it looks like they're about a second up, I think that was saying. Not too sure if they've got the battery foot, so as they make their way into 14 and 15, we keep on board with Tatus to see if they were on a provisional flight, because they were flying past Gravy as they make their way through 13 to 14, but we'll find out. And it looks like they are on a flyer. They're going to complete this lap time. Are they going to be quite competitive as they cross the grid? They go P5, a 141.963. So the grid's starting to warm up now. Drivers starting to get used to the track conditions and the track layout and the braking zones. We'll just see how they get on, as Julian making their way out of 14-15 now. Was around about, I believe that was 2/10 up on their lap time. Having a little bit of a wobbly, sturdiest moment there. But can they go even more up the grid order? And it looks like it's going to be a no, because they are nowhere near the pace. So with being 2/10 up, it was probably 2 seconds off, or a bit more than that. But I probably need to go to Specsavers, because I should have probably realised that the Aston Martin was off his lap. We are on board of Brisbane, though. Roughly down by a couple of, I wouldn't say a couple, fracture of thousandths of a second. As they make their way past the Red Bull driver, getting a little bit of a helpful tow as well down that back straight. They are a 10th down in their lap time, so they aren't finding any pace. Brisbane isn't able to improve enough. Are they going to find a little bit of time, as they're now in Sector 3 out of 14 and 15? Car looks stable enough. There does seem to be a slight dry line forming, but Brisbane peeling away into the pit lane. And there we go. That's a little bit better from Soybean. P3, a 141.741, a little bit better and very, very more competitive, as they're going to have Chris cross the line, and they're going to set a lap time. They go to P14, a 1:44.431. But yeah, that's much better from Soybean and his teammate Mick going into P2, a 141.600, and skill issue right behind the Red Bull driver of Mick, still on pole position, a 141.380 is the time to beat. Is anyone going to be able to do it? We'll just find out, as Gravy crossed the line a few moments ago, did a 144.232. Fat Cat, however, I believe, is about to get a valid lap time in, potentially. So we'll keep on board with them now as they make their way into 7, 8, and then about to approach the exit or the entrance of 9, and then run away down to turns 10, 11, and 12. How are they going to get on? Let's have a look here. They are purple, apparently, in Sector 1, which the game could be lying to me. But we'll keep on board to see how they do. Or the Fat Cat there, a little bit wiggly. Approaching turn 12, but now, oh, slightly hitting the wall there could result in damage to his front wing. Let's keep an eye on that front wing and have a look, shall we? It does seem to be intact, but he might have picked up just a fraction of small damage, but making their way now to 14 and 15. That love tap of the wall definitely wouldn't have helped them on their lap time. So we'll have to see if they can improve. And then they don't. They just invalidate and exceed track limits ever so slightly. And that is them still down in P16 with a valid lap time yet to set. Mick on a flyer now, starting their lap time. And it does seem that skill issue is back in the pit lane. So maybe they didn't want to complete another lap, or maybe they completed a lap, or maybe they made an error. Maybe they had damage somewhere, potentially. But let's see if Mick can take his Red Bull car and stick it on pole position. As we know, throughout 2023, 2022 and 2024 this season, the Red Bull car has been untouchable, apart from Max Verstappen's rear brakes lighting up at Australia. Apart from that, they have been unstoppable and untouchable. We'll find out at the next race, which I believe is going to be held at Suzuka. What a lovely circuit. But to watch a sprint race, UK time, got to be up at 4 in the morning. Absolutely love that. Anyways, Mick, 92 thousandths of a second up right now. Gone purple in Sector 1, so definitely finding time and pushing, as we can see right there. Bit of a wiggle there once again. He did the same as Fat Cat there on the way to 12, but without hitting the wall as Fat Cat did, he got a much better and sturdy exit. They're now going to probably get a helpful tow from their teammate, which I believe they are working together. So it's lovely to see Red Bull working as a team player here at Las Vegas tonight. And they're now 31 thousandths of a second up, so they have lost a little bit of time in Sector 2 on the exit of 12. I believe that's where they lost all the time. But now, Sector 3, if they keep within track limits, which they do, now making their way down to 17. Oh my goodness! Massive slide there for the Red Bull and Mick. He's still going to push, and no, he's not going to come into the pit lane. And does he have enough time? He has enough time to do one more lap, potentially 2, but that was a good idea to bail out of the lap into the pit lane. Kozlo, however, in Sector 2, which isn't right. He's in Sector 1, so the game telling me different, trying to confuse me. We absolutely love that, but Koz does seem to be on a slow lap for now, so maybe they're going to go for their next attempt very, very shortly. I believe Soybean has begun their lap, so we'll go back on board with them. Keep a close eye on them, because obviously we haven't seen Soybean explore this track and done a lap with him yet, so we'll see how he gets on in Sector 1. Can he light up the circuit? As we know, he's a very pacey, quick driver and likes to get as close as he possibly can to the walls, like Max Verstappen, and use all that track that's available to them. Making their way in 7, 8, and now approaching 9. Coming to that white line very shortly to cross into Sector 2 and complete the first sector. Is it going to be a massive improvement? It looks like it will be, and it is. 6 tenths up on their provisional lap time they set when they did a valid lap time. That's absolutely insane. Making their way out 12 now, all the way down to 13 and then 14. This massive straight now where you just want to get on the power as early as possible, flick that battery on and just send it. Do not lift, just keep flying. Absolutely flying. Right then, back aboard with the Red Bull driver once again, making the way out 16, heading towards the start and finish to complete that lap time, up by a massive amount, absolutely crazy, and it's pole position. Wow, a 140.9 0.896 is your provisional lap time. Is Skill Issue going to be able to compete and take pole? Maybe. Can the track improve? Has it gotten worse? I'm not too sure because I'm not driving the circuit. So we'll just keep on board and see what the drivers' lines are like and see if they're finding a little bit more grip there. On board of Chris now in Sector 1 on a proper push lap. Fairly close to the wall there. Making their way through, I believe that is 7, 8 and 9 now. Getting as close as they can on exit. Heading to that white line to complete Sector 1. 2/10 up on their provisional lap time. We're going to go on board a Fat Cat quickly because they might set a valid lap time here, which would really help them out by a massive amount. And they have gone purple in Sector 2, which could, obviously, once again, the game could be lying here. But let's see, on the exit now of 14 and 15, are they going to keep it valid? They are going to keep it valid. So they managed to get through that tricky part where they kept invalidating on their lap time in that part of that chicane and on that part of the track. But as they cross the line, this could be a really good lap time for Fat Cat here. And it's going to be P2. A 141.308. Fat Cat up into P2, but having contact there with a rear end lost at turn 3. And the result of that, they've lost their front wing, which definitely isn't ideal because you need all the downforce you can, especially in these part of the corners at turn 1. On board with Cos now. Currently P4, their fastest lap time is a 141.420. This is their lap time they've got to do now. They've got to perfect because no more after that, as there's about, what is there, 56 seconds. So no more time for errors or anything like that. Soybean has retired from the session, so he's thinking that's going to be enough. No one's going to be able to steal it. Indeed. Let's find out and see if anybody can steal pole position. Cos making their way out turn 9, making their way now to turn 12 in Sector 1. 18 thousandths of a second, currently down on their provisional lap time of a 141.420. Making their way out of 12, heading towards 14 now. Is it going to be possible for the Aston Martin to get into the top 3? I would say so. Skill Issue retiring. Fat Cat retiring. They are done and dusted. Fat Cat, however, has, I believe, crashed on circuit at turn 11. Cos, a 10th up on their lap time, going purple in Sector 2. So they are finding pace on the circuit, making their way out of 14 and 15. Now, they've got to have a solid exit here in the Aston Martin. You can see he is trying to push as hard as he possibly can because that was wiggling as he exited turn number 16, making their way to the start and finish. Is it going to be pole for the Aston Martin? Indeed, it's not, but it is going to be a loss of improvement by about 4 thousandths, and they stay P4. Can anybody else be able to go up the grid order ever so slightly more? Go on board Julian now, 5 tenths up apparently, coming out of Sector 2, now in Sector 3. Let's see. What's it going to be in Sector 2? 7 tenths up. Absolutely crazy. We have seen that Maya has left the session, so hopefully someone can re-invite them. But as the Aston Martin teammates with Cos makes their way out of 16, are they going to be able to go up into the top 5? Because that's where Aston Martin would potentially want to be. Julian goes P3, a 141.323. Looking elsewhere, we've got the Ferraris about to cross the line, and it's going to be Brisen crossing. It's only P5, a 141.400. His teammate Six crossing line very, very shortly. We've got Panos as well ahead of the Ferrari about to cross the line. Where's Panos going to go? It's going to stay P10 and a 142.084 is what they're able to do for now. And Six improves but stays P8. Mr. Tetus into the pit lane, not able to improve on their lap time. And that is qualifying done. Bosh. That was lovely to watch. Absolutely fantastic. Tatouche retires so we can hold on and go to the next session and get ready for some racing action. But no, chat, that was absolutely wonderful. Feel free to let me know what your thoughts were on that, because like I said, that was just fantastic. But let's have a look at the qualifying status then. The grid order from P1 down to P8, all within a second. The gaps are roughly opening up quite a bit as we make our way down to P16, but Soybean takes P1, Fat Cat P2, and Julian takes the final podium position for qualifying to head towards to the race for Aston Martin in P3, Skillisher P4, Brisbane P5, Cos P6, Mick P7, Six P8, and Tetus P9, and Panos rounding it off with P number 10. Absolutely sensational. Lovely to see. No safety car. As reminded, once again, we have to wait 6 seconds now so they can all get their setup sorted. A lovely dry race. Hopefully, we're in for a treat tonight, chat. Trust me, we're in for a treat. Hopefully, nothing too crazy so my voice box doesn't explode. I've seen Matt pop up in the chat. Let's see. Risen just has to stick with the aliens. The race will come to him in the second stint. Exactly, Matt. Patience is key. That's what I've learned when playing this game. Patience is key. That's what you've got to do. So, that's probably what Brisbane is going to do. So, we're just waiting patiently for the 5 red lights. And I hope you're enjoying the commentary so far. Hope it's all good and you're enjoying it. So yeah, we're just playing the lovely waiting game. It's quite crazy to do ACC for a full season for Phoenix and then approach F1 commentating again. The difference is absolutely crazy, but I'm glad I've still got it in me, somehow. That's rare for me to say. Exactly, it's basically impossible to shake the DRS based on the pure pace alone. That is true. If it's all going to be a massive train, which it shall be on lap 1, on the exit of 12, down to 14, if everyone's close, that's going to be chaotic. That's going to be crazy and carnage. Absolutely carnage. But no, we have one Ferrari fan in the chat. Who else is rooting on? Who are you rooting on for? Are you rooting on for a friend? A team? Enough about that. All the cars lined up on the grid. It's going to be the 5 red lights. And we're going to get green, green, green any second. And it's lights out. And away we go. It's a very even start for the front two. But Soybean gets the best of it. And Fat Cat nowhere to be seen to steal for P1. Soybean leads the way into turns 1, 2, and 3. In the background, though, it's absolutely carnage. Everyone all bunched up in the first part of the lap of racing. Skill issue into P5, losing a position, I believe, to Brisbane. Brisbane with a really good start there. The Aston Martin, of course, is looking down the inside of Skill issue to take up another position. Skill issue does get into the wall, though, and as a result of that, Red Bull, I believe Mick, does take damage, and that's going to be Shanae round in P14. So Shanae hitting that wall is definitely going to have some mighty, mighty damage. What a interesting start there between that mid-pack there. Maya has left the session. Definitely not ideal. But Soybean, what a dream start for him. Leading the way in P1. Fat Cat somehow to stay in P2. And Julian in P3 with Boosty in behind to potentially get past Skill Issue very, very shortly on the exit. So I've got a move happening as well in the background, almost by Mick there to get past the Williams. But Mick probably struggling with a little bit of damage on the car, which definitely isn't ideal. Brisbane does seem to just be letting Skill Issue by. But look at this. Boosty says, nah, man, I'm going to take 2 positions because I can, and it does so. He finds himself into P4. Skill Issue, however, defending for his teammate to keep that Ferrari behind. And all there is a McLaren there getting a little bit scarily close to the wall there. Oh my goodness, that was a good save from Panos there, making his way out of 16 down to 17. Soybean with the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:38.939. We'll get into tyres very, very shortly once this whole craziness has calmed down. But the Williams trying to go around the outside there of the Alpha driver of Tatu. Tatu says, no, I'm going to take that one back, and try to, as they're still going to be wheel to wheel, making their way down to turn number 5. One more lap to go until DRS is activated. Tatuso is getting that helpful hand from the Red Bull, and late braking on those hard tyres, able to keep P9 for now. Absolutely fantastic wheel-to-wheel combat we're getting today, but the Williams driver isn't giving up just yet, but has to at this moment in time. Tatuso trying to go for a move on Mick. Mick potentially having somewhat damage on his car, and indeed he does. It's going to be the left-hand side of his winglet has been missing, of course, with the contact on lap 1 between skill issue. Might have been squeezed by the Aston Martin into the wall, and with skill issue hitting the wall, bounced back on the track, and Red Bull just had nowhere to go. Yellow flags, and that's going to be Sinead going straight on at turn 5. Is Tatu's going to be able to go for a move here? Looks like he's not, but what's happening up front is going to be skill issue getting past Cos. Cos, though, trying to get past skill issue, but just doesn't have the straight line speed to do so. But late braking and a good exit for the Aston Martin. Now skill issue does go very, very deep, and Aston Martin saying in the background, thank you very much, I would take P5 once again. And in the background as well, we've got Mick trying to make a position with that damage on the Haas as well, or skill issue. They almost come together, but into turn 1 now. Skill issue going straight on and just going offline, shall we say, and losing so many positions, making his way back onto the track at turn 2. This racing action has not calmed down yet. I promise you, we'll get into the tyres very, very shortly. DRS is activated on lap number 3. The Ferrari, though, is able to keep the Alpha driver at bay for now. The Williams in the background getting fairly close to the wall there, and a bit too close for comfort. Soybean leading the way then. 2.2 is the gap. Julian trying to close the gap down to Fat Cat. Isn't able to at the moment, but that is slowly chomping down. Matt in the chat saying skill issue had a skill issue. That is true. Yeah, I can see why you would say that. That is, yeah, definitely a big skill issue. In the background, though, skill issue losing another position to Panos now. Panos back into the top 10, racing for McLaren today. Skill issue losing another, and actually going straight on at turn 12. Where I said could happen, but does seem to be missing his front wing. So has he had a bit of a spin, and in a result of that, done a Lando Norris, and yeah, basically just gone straight on and lost the car, and that's now him out of the points, down in P14 with no safety car enabled. It might be impossible to get in the points unless a load of drivers DNF. But the racing action does seem to be calming down ever so slightly. Brisen in P7 might make his way into the top 6 as if he gets past the Red Bull, making his way down to turn 1. It doesn't look like Brisen will go for a silly dive, because we know how Brisen is, and unfortunately there is going to be skill issue out of the session. Having a crash, it seems, at turn 14 and 15. Definitely not ideal. That is sad to see, shall we say. So skill issue out of the session on lap number 4. Right then, as it has calmed down just a little bit, chat, let's get the tyres, as we're about to see some lovely overtakes happen in the background. The Ferrari almost getting a move done on the Red Bull, as you can see there. There is a difference. Boosty on the softs, Soybean on the softs, half of the grid on hards, or I can say majority of the grid is on the hard tyres, and some are on the medium compound tyre. Lovely stuff. There we go then. There we go. So what can we see so far? Julian sadly is losing DRS to Boosty. Of course, Boosty has the upper hand at the moment with soft tyres. Boosty now finds himself up into P2, actually, getting past Fat Cat. And another position change there by, I believe that was Brisen, making his way up into P number 6, but the Red Bull there trying to gain as much as he can in a straight line, and trying to get past the Aston Martin as well, but backs off. And Cos will have P6, but Brisen will take P5. But yeah, up front, it switches Boosty to P2, Fat Cat down into P3. Can Fat Cat hold on to that podium spot. We'll find out as Julian is starting to catch up into that DRS ever so slightly, but is losing in the crucial stages of straight line speed. So is Julian using a little bit more wing than Fat Cat. Fat Cat's just got that straight line advantage, but it doesn't look like he has, because Julian has managed to close that gap so much, and the gap is only 1.8 now, was 1.6, and it is again 1.6. So Fat Cat probably fighting, and Boosty probably in doing so holding up, but there we go. We've got a move there on Tetus. Now finds himself in P7 ahead of the Red Bull driver, making their way out of turn number 5. Now in the tricky part of sector 2. Tetus on those hards doing a grand job so far. Up on his list next is Koz on the same compounded tyre as him on the hards. There we go. Fat Cat has managed to get back in the DRS range of the Haas driver, but crucially Julian has managed to close that gap up and get right behind Fat Cat. So the Haas could be in danger here of losing 2 positions as they make their way down to turn number 14. But Fat Cat just doesn't have enough straight line speed. Has the Aston Martin got enough straight line speed? You could see on the exit of 16. We've got more happening in the background. We've got Mick making his way up. I believe, no, I think that was the Williams getting past Mick for P8. Mick, though, might have to respond and get back at the Williams for P9. And is Julian going to go for a move here? He's going to try and look to the outside on Fat Cat. Fat Cat does cover it off, though, and Julian has nowhere to go. So lovely defense there from the Mercedes, and he'll keep P3 on lap number 6. Oh. Had to have a bit of a breathe there because there's just so much crazy content happening on the track. It's absolutely lovely. Once again, Fat Cat closing in on the rear wing of the Haas there in the background as well. The Aston Martin doing the same thing as Fat Cat, getting as close as he can, keeping it nice and tidy. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say now. Can't say the word because my vocabulary won't let me pronounce it. So we'll just say gaining on the car ahead and wanting to get as close as they possibly can to make the overtaking a chance happen very shortly. Fat Cat looking very race pacey now on the exit of 12. What's his exit like? It's very good for the Mercedes driver. He's a 10th behind. Might have slightly touched the wall there, but he's going to take P2 back from Boosty. It looks like he is indeed. Julian in the background isn't close enough to go for a move at all. But Fat Cat says, thank you very much. Back into P2 for me. I'm very happy with that one. Koz as well, looking like he wants to get past Brisen. Once again, Koz back up to P5. And Brisen down into P6. It's Tetus looking to set eyes on that and think, okay, Brisen might be struggling here. Let's try and gain a bit more on a few more drivers. And go for P6 now. We'll keep an eye on that. But what gap is deteriorating the most? It's the Ferrari on the Aston Martin, making their way now out of 17 down to turn 1 to start lap number 7 of this race. And obviously no moves happening yet. The mediums could be dropping off, but what's happening here? Julian was looking quite close there to the rear wing of the Haas. Does have DRS though. Maybe Boosty's tyres are now starting to feel the pain and starting to wear away and die off, and his pace will start to deteriorate and get ever so slower as each lap goes on and on. We'll see here. Because the Aston Martin could be on for a decent overtake next at 12 if he's close enough. So far, nobody into the pit lane for the soft tyres. And oh my goodness, hello. I was not expecting that, but the Haas missed his braking zone by a mile, we could say. Managing to avoid the wall there by using some of the runoff. And the Aston Martin says, thank you very much. Into P3. Boosty, unfortunately, down to P4. Once again, with that massive straight advantage, the Ferrari's going to get by. And is Tetus in the background looking to make a move? He is indeed. Up to P6 for the Alpha driver. And they're still going to be trying to go wheel to wheel. Wow. Koz keeping his nose in there. How on earth they didn't make contact? That was pure reaction. Driver talent. Absolutely lovely to see. Boosty not close enough to make a move. Tetus might be a little bit frustrated with that one. Thought he got the move done. And then Cos says, nope, I'm going to go later on the brakes, keep my nose in. And just like that, he's still got P6. Absolutely amazing. With all that fighting, the Williams has managed to get back close enough to Tetus. Mick as well was struggling. Around about 9/10 was the gap, and now he's closed it by a little bit on the Williams, but is starting now to feel the struggle with that left winglet missing on his car. You can see that he is struggling so much with not much of the front wing intact, so he's now 1.1 away, now 1.3 away, but also, crucially, the Williams as well is 1.5 away from Tetus, so they will not get the DRS at all. But that's now the second retiree of the session. That's Maya retiring from the session in the pit lane. But that's them and done and dusted for Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Excuse me there. Boosty now dropping out the DRS zone, so once Boosty loses the DRS, which most likely he will do, it looks like he'll be under humongous pressure from Brisson, who's gaining and gaining and gaining on boost now, as those soft tyres are going to start dying a lot now. Let's see how Brisson does out of turn number 16. Very, very close to the Haas. The Haas thinks there's not time to box yet, so he's still going to stay out another lap. To lap 9 we go. Starting lap 9. Still on the soft compound, in my opinion. Probably wants to box by now, but Boosty now not in the DRS. Mick making their way up into P8 as the Williams there having a bit of a spin. There could have been contact potentially between those two, or the Williams just went straight on, lost the rear end and just spun around. So if so, Mick, easy position for him up into P8. Right then, Boosty definitely is starting to struggle now. 1.2 is the gap. He's not going to have DRS at all for the exit of turn 12, so he could be under almighty pressure from not one, not two, but three drivers behind him right now. If I was Boosty, I'd be scared on the exit of turn 12, down to 14. I'd be scared. So Boosty could potentially be in this lap. If he doesn't miss his braking zone, he doesn't. He nails it to perfection, but a little bit of a slide there has unsettled his car. Yellow flags, and that's actually going to be Tetus. Tetus is round, and no damage on his car, but just having that unbalanced, settled moment, I believe. Probably got too close to the rear wing of cars. Now finds himself down into P8. Unfortunate there for Tetus, but at least he's not out of the race, which I think he'll be happy with. Boosty getting overtaken there, as we saw, by so many cars. Is he going to be able to fight back, though? Doesn't look like he's close enough. He's still staying out, which is absolutely shocking to me. GOVEE, though, however, up into P9, but might lose that P9 position as Tetus. Not Tetus, sorry. Mick is in the pit lane and could lose that P8 spot, as the Williams was thinking for going for a move there. But unfortunately, the Williams not close enough to gain on that. And GOVEE stays in P8 for now. Retiree, that's our third retiree from the session. That's Panos, P12. No point scoring from McLaren today. Yeah, McLaren, not a good day for them. Probably a day to forget, as the Williams going into that corner quite late on the brakes, and I thought they hit the wall there, but luckily they didn't. And GOVEE trying to fight this one, but thinks, you know what, I'll back out of it. I'll let the Williams fight on those medium tyres, as the mediums should start come into play now. The hards start coming into play, but the mediums may come into play and start to die off. Sinead up into P13, but he's 28 seconds behind from the rest of the field. Cos seems to be gaining quite a lot in a straight line. GOVEE doing an excellent job at the moment on the exit of 12. Most likely will get the position of P8 on the Williams. We'll see what happens, though. Down to 14 we go. GOVEE, with just that DRS activated, the Ferrari as well may try to get past both of these drivers, and it looks like he might be able to. Tix going wheel to wheel now with GOVEE, making their way into turn 14 and 15. Tix just able to get a fraction ahead and make their way into P number 8. GOVEE in P9, and with that DRS, He might be able to get past the Ferrari if he's close enough, but he'll be able to defend from the Williams behind. Let's keep on board of GOVEE and see what happens here. He's not going to go for the move. Very smart thinking there from GOVEE. As we know, you may or may not know, but he's a very experienced driver. Returning to Season 9 for Phoenix. Lovely to see him back on the circuit. And yeah, just him thinking, I might go for the move. And you know what? I'll tuck him behind and try my opportunity at a later date. Very smart thinking there once again. But Brisen doing a very good job in P5. Keeping the 2 Aston Martins and the Mercedes, you could say, up ahead at bay in that DRS, saving the battery, probably saving the tyres as well. Shanae, once again, though, down in 14, having maybe a lock-up moment or just a moment in general there, and losing even more time to the front runners. And now could be the chance. Fat Cat is going to lose P2 to Julian as we make our way down to turn number 14. Fat Cat with no battery. He's drained it all, so he can't even defend this one as the Aston Martin flies by and sails by up into P2. Fat Cat now down to P3. Is anybody else going to try and challenge him? That could have been a warning there for Fat Cat and for Brisen there for track limits. Fat Cat does bail into the pit lane though. What tyres is he on though? On the hards. I'd say it's fairly early for the hard tyres. But nevertheless, Aston Martin 2 and 3. If Aston Martin can pull off an amazing strategy here and pray that Fat Cat has some sort of moment, they could be on for a double podium here, which I think they'll be happy with. Fat Cat is taking a while to leave the pit exit though, which does seem he was changing his front wing, so he would have lost crucial time there. Boosty at the same time does peel into the pit lane and will come out ahead of Fat Cat on those medium compound tyres. Fat Cat as well on the mediums. The Williams driver trying to get up into P7, but GOVEE with some excellent defending, able to keep that Williams still at bay. Brisen with no DRS, could lose out to GOVEE once we make our way to turn 12, and GOVEE could find himself in P7, which I think he'll be very happy with, because, however, almost losing DRS to his teammate, but on the exit of 12, with some good corner exiting speed, which it is superb, he'll be able to latch on to the rear wing, and his teammate will be able to pull him along. However, GOVEE might set eyes here to get a move done and dusted on Tix. Or as the Williams goes quite deep there, might have slightly tapped the wall and got a bit of front wing damage. Definitely not ideal. But here goes GOVEE on Tix. Tix, obviously an Alpha Tier 2 driver. Both Alpha drivers free to fight. And very respectful Tix, letting him by down the straight. Very smart thinking. Soybean into the pit lane, followed by Julian also into the pits. Is GOVEE going to bail into the pit lane at any moment? Is he going to stay out too? He's still going to stay out. Tix is coming in. Tatus is coming in. Let's see where Soybean comes out compared to the rest of the grids. Julian, where's Julian? There's Julian. There's GOVEE. GOVEE not able to get ahead of Julian, but in a good position for now. But once they have to box, they'll be fighting for some very spicy positions on fresher tyres. Boosty having a lovely fight with Fat Cat. Fat Cat finds himself up into P6, but Boosty with some smartness maybe might be able to get ahead of the Mercedes driver. It looks like a no for now, but Boosty right on the gearbox. If he keeps close enough, he could get DRS very, very shortly. Fat Cat does get a bit of a wobble here and there, which could surprise Boosty that Fat Cat might be struggling just a little bit. We do see a wild yakka in the chat. What are they saying? Giving my drivers hope. The hope we don't have. I mean, Fat Cat right now is having a splendid job. No battery, but could be on for a podium here tonight. You know? Fresher tyres. As you can see, already caught GOVEE, which is absolutely insane and crazy. But Boosty could be threat here of Fat Cat. As we make our way down to turn 12. GOVEE helping out the Haas there by giving a bit of a tow. It could almost be 3 wide, and that's the Haas going round. And Fat Cat as well. Oh my goodness. That was a bit risky. There might have been a bit of a nudge and barge there between Fat Cat and GOVEE. We'll see if that one gets reported, but It wasn't major, but there definitely was elbows out there by Fat Cat. He knew he had to get past Gravy as soon as possible to stay with Boosty. And now here comes Cos. Didn't realize Cos was on pit exit. And now he's going to go wheel to wheel with Boosty. Wowzers. On fresher tyres than these two. Contact though. Oh, contact indeed. That is going to be Boosty retired from a session. Making contact there with Cos. And that could be a Stuart pause, and that fault might have been on Cos. And that's Boosty out of the session. Fat Cat now finds himself in P4. But we'll definitely let the Stuarts look at that one. Oh my goodness. Absolutely was not expecting that. Cos could have damage from that. Might have helped out Fat Cat to be on provisional podium. Brisen to win. Brisen could be, you know. We check tyres. He's still on 13 laps though. Rest of the grid on fresher tyres. Mick on 4. Half of them on mediums, except the Williams on hards. Gravy on fresher tyres, currently in P10. So, we'll see. We will see when Brisen decides to box. Which hopefully will be soon. Could be softs to the end of the race. Could be softs. Soybean though, 133.445. Fastest time right now on the circuit. Fastest driver on the circuit. However, Cos not able to get close enough to the Mercedes. However, to Toos in P7. Mick still with no damage actually. Shanae with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So Mick finally having that damage repaired. Finds himself in P6, but a very fast, pacey, fresher tyre to Toos behind. Is he going to go for the move? He looks like he is. Heading towards turn number 5. He gets it done, covers it off into the very tricky braking zone. It makes the corner, and that's now to Toos up into P6. Is he going to be able to get any more positions? Maybe? We'll just see what these two do at bay with Cos reeling in Fat Cat. These two could fight. We'll see. If they come together, then that's 2 positions free for Tattoo. So we'll keep our eyes peeled as Mick is already losing touch with Tattoo. Tattoo is really starting to fly now around the circuit on the medium tyres. However, closest battle on track right now is going to be Cos in P5. Looking, he's going to get Fat Cat on this massive back straight. Is he? No. Was close though, but wasn't close enough. Softs will do 10. Okay. So that could mean Brisen's going for the pit stop strategy of the soft tyre. Is he? And he is. He's into the pit lane. He's now leaving the pit lane. He's got some stellar fighting to do as Fat Cat's back into P3. Cos in P4. Can Brisen get a podium out of this? Potentially. On pit exit, they have got a gap of 5.6 seconds to close on the soft compounded tyre. He will definitely be the one to watch, Matt. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Let's see how this gets on. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on this battle too, brewing in the background. We'll keep an eye on Gravy in P10, looking like he's going to go for P9 very, very shortly on the Williams. It's all going on, chat. Carnage, content happening left, right, and centre. We've got Matt in the chat saying, "Come on, Brisen, make us proud." We'll see how he gets on. Hopefully, he can close that gap very, very quickly. We'll just see. We might switch to Cos in just a second, as it seems to be a little bit closer to that Mercedes as he would like to be. And yeah, we'll switch to him now. He is gaining and gaining and gaining. Is the gaining speed going to be enough? He is backing off, so he doesn't want to make the overtake just yet. So he might try and make the overtake on the exit 16. However, Gravy now approaching that massive back straight of where DRS would be enabled. The Williams nowhere to be seen because the Alpha is going by. And will take P number 9. The Williams, with no defense of DRS, is hopeless in a straight line. But there you have it. Gravy up to P9. The Williams down to P10. The more they fight, the closer Brisbane gets. Is indeed. That's how it works, indeed. Hopefully Brisbane get those tyres warmed up, though. Get the confidence and push, push, push. However, Cos is now starting to look, as he knows, Brisbane's on the soft, so he's got to start making the position on Fat Cat fairly shortly. Let's see here. These two very close. Mick as well, very close to Tatus. Tatus, 5.4 behind Brisbane. Brisbane, 5.4 behind Cos. Oh, Mick, a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunately for corner cutting. Just exceeding track limits for the final third time. Definitely not ideal. Chris retires from the session. Having a no crash, just retired in the pit lane. P11 now. Sinead up into P11. One more driver, and Sinead could be in the points here. See what happens. Right then, Cos says, you know what? Time for me to run away. Time for me to go. Cos up into P3. Fat Cat down to P4. On the exit is 16, though, is Fat Cat going to say, you know what, Cos? I want that position back. I'm going to fight you for it. So, DRS enabled fairly shortly. The rear light of that Merc is flashing, flashing, flashing. Is the Mercedes going to be close enough? Is the Mercedes going to go for an absolute send? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind Cos for now and think the best of it, because he will get a double dose of the DRS as we make our way out of turn 3 and 4. If the Mercedes are close enough, and it looks like he's got a really good exit, but has hit the wall there. So has Fat Cat now entitled themselves to somewhat damage, making his way out of turn 4 down to turn 5 as he smacks the wall there of 4. Potentially. Definitely not ideal, but we'll see what happens. Gravy now back into P9, having a splendid fight down with P10. So we'll go back on board with that in just a second. We've got these two scrapping it out for P3. Absolutely insane. Boosty buddy, sorry to hear that, but all I can say to you is if you do have a clip, feel free to report it tomorrow, and the stewards will have a look at it on Tuesday for you, buddy, alright? But once again, sorry to hear, and we'll see you at the next one, which I can't remember. I think it's Suzuka next. Don't know. I don't think it is. Don't quote me. I can't remember what track it is. So we'll have a look at the calendar very, very shortly. But here goes Fat Cat. He's going to go back and take P3 and back again on Cos. With all this fighting, there is Brisbane in the background. There he is, waiting. Cos might go for the move here. Depends on his exit. Fat Cat a little bit wobbly coming out of that corner. Oh, it's getting spicy. And we're heading to the final 5 laps of this race as we make our way around turn 17 to turn 1 again of lap 19. Let's get in there, chap. It's getting there. It's getting spicy. Mick, however, flashing with his rear light. Not able to challenge Tatus for P6. However, I was going very all over the place there, shall we say. So, did he get a bad exit coming out of that corner and lose the car and manage to save it, potentially? But once again, he's right behind the rear wing of that Mercedes. That Mercedes slightly goes deep, but manages to make the corner because slots in behind for P3. Not for P3, sorry. Oh, well, behind P3, but not for P3. Currently in P4. Brisbane, 3.2 behind. Starting to gain on as much as he can. He could make Ferrari very, very proud. Make Mr. Goat very, very happy and very, very proud, because Brisbane here has drove a superb race today and does deserve a podium. But let's see what happens here. Is Cos going to go for the move? Because he knows that Aston Martin is quick in a straight line, and he knows that Brisbane's gaining. His teammate Julian is just ahead of him. Is Julian backing off to help his team out? Potentially, because it could be an Aston Martin 3 and 2. Which would be a good result for Aston Martin and make the TP very, very proud here at Vegas tonight. Mick is gaining on the Alpha driver as well, to choose for P6, but isn't able to gain enough. But to choose, though, looks like he did lose the car there, and that puts Mick right on the gearbox of the Alpha. Once again, the Williams and Gravy fighting in the background for P number 9. We'll come back to that battle in just a second to see if the Red Bull will go for the move here, but it doesn't look like he is close enough. Gravy, however, looks like he might be able to get past the Williams here. Is he close enough? towards the left-hand side and tucks into the rear wing behind the Williams. Thinks better rather than not to get involved. And it does look like Julian is slowing down to play the team game here, which would be absolutely fantastic. And it gets even more spicy because if the Aston Martins come together and they mess up, Brison, not only scoring a podium potentially, or a really good result here, could score P2. Brison, 3.3 behind, 5 more laps remaining at this circuit. Soybean, absolutely flying in the distance. This is amazing what we're getting tonight. Soybean, there he is. There's our lovely P1 driver, known to be Max Verstappen, leading the way momentarily, shortly about to lap Sinead. There's Julian. Up ahead, slowing down for his teammate Cos to give him some DRS assistance to try and pull away from Brison. Brison now 2.9 away from Fat Cat. Fat Cat is unable to get back in the DRS of Mr. Cos. These two once again going at it. Heading towards turn number 14 and 15. Gravy late on the brakes but goes a little bit deep. And that allows the Williams to run away. Maybe Gravy's tyres are starting to die off ever so slightly as they're on the mediums. And the hards are now starting to come into play as we make our way to the final 4 laps of racing. Oh, it's absolutely insane, chat, what we're seeing here. Here we go. Cos managed to catch up to his teammate. His teammate could have backed off to help him out. Are these two now going to switch and just help each other? Could that be a possibility? Because right now, like I keep saying, they could make Aston Martin really, really proud today. Very, very proud. As we always say, patience is key. Here goes Cos. On his teammate. These two not going to fight. Cos will take the lead. Maybe team orders or switching around, thinking Cos has got a little bit more pace than Julian. These two could work together and try and run away from Fat Cat and Brison, who's now 2.4 away. We could see these two going at it again. It could be now Gravy taking back P9, which it is, making his way down to 14 and 15 now. The Williams now down to P10 once again. These two have a little bit of a mini battle in the background, keep brewing, which we love to see. The penultimate lap of this race is fairly about to approach us. Could Cos be the team player here and give his teammate P2 back on the final lap to show him that, oh mate, you slowed down, you deserve his position. There you go. Rightio then. So these two looking to switch again. Which it most likely is. On board with Julian. Yep, Cos just going to let him by. So those two working together, which we love to see. However, Mick still unable to get past the Toos. 4P6. Gravy. Probably going to be under pressure from that Williams soon. Obviously with DRS, the Williams has the advantage over the Alpha. Gravy back down to P10. The Williams back into P9. Is now 1.8 behind Fat Cat. Sinead on the soft compound tyre finds himself in P11, 1 position away from points, and yeah, fastest lap of the race with a 3-second time penalty, and most likely yeah, has been lapped this race. I think by a Soybean and a few other drivers as well by the Aston Martins, I believe. No, he's been lapped by nearly the whole grid, obviously, because he boxed, I'm guessing, for a fresh set of tyres. So, once again, my fault. I'm getting confused. Absolutely love that. Let's go. Where's Brisen? There's Brisen. Trying to cook. 1.4 away now from Fat Cat. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to have enough for a podium here today. Because the Aston Martins working together is working to their favour. Back on board of Brisen. Hardly nothing in the battery, so he's used it all. Gravy back into P9. Those two, like I keep saying as well, having their lovely, splendid little battles. Oh, here we go. Mick is on the charge here, potentially, to Juice. Maybe under pressure? No. Right then. Here we go, chat. Penultimate lap of this race. Brisen in P5 on the soft compounded tyre. Managing now for this lap to get involved with Fat Cat to take away P4. And then they're 4 seconds up the road. Both Aston Martins. Brisen probably unable to gain that. So looks like it would be a P4 result for now. Unless that contact and that crash between Cos and Boosty gets reported. And we'll find out who's at fault. Enough about that, though. Because here come the 2 Aston Martins. Because Cos, I believe, just going to let him by. There it is. They finish in that order. We'll find out. Hopefully they do. Because Julian does deserve P2. For helping out his teammate, I believe. Like I keep saying, I think he slowed down. So if we get an interview with one of those two, we'll ask that question. Because if so, that was a lovely team play. Here's Brisen. Trying to set the charge now to get up into P4. One more lap to do it. And Soybean takes us in to that last lap of racing. He's now left 4, heading to turn 5. Let's see what happens here. Mick isn't close enough on Tattoos, so Tattoos can now be probably draining the battery and try and not let that driver by. Cos, though, 3/10 behind on his teammate. Yellow flag. Someone's round. Someone is round. It's not Fat Cat. Unfortunately, it's Shanae having another spin down at turns 1 and 2. And probably damage. And, yeah, not a great day for Mercedes. But a good day for Mercedes as well, because they're P4, so they're going to get some decent points as well, which I'll say it's a very good highlighted thing, shall we just say. Gravy having a bit of a fight here. He's got to try and defend for P9 on the Williams, so that's going to be quite tough to defend that position as the exit 12 very, very shortly. We're going to get on board with Brisen very, very shortly. We're going to go back on board with Soybean, making their way down turn number 14. And 15 now. Making their way out of 16 as we see Brisen gaining and gaining and gaining on Fat Cat and making their way up into P4. But here we go then. Soybean making their way out turn 17. Coming down to turn 1. Cross start and finish. He wins. Round number 2 here at Las Vegas. Julian will come in P2. Cos in P3. Brisen managing to get past Fat Cat on the final lap. Finds himself in P4. Bravo, bravo. But bravo to Soybean. Not having a great qualifying session, but finds himself in P1. P2 and P3. Aston Martin will be delighted with that. Great team play. Union does keep P2. Cos in P3, so respect does go out to those who Tatouche finishes in P6. Mick in P7. Tix in P8. The Williams finishes in P9. Unfortunately, Gravy not able to get P9, but does score the final points paying position of P10. That was a superb race to watch. Cos, driver of the day, I'd say so. apart from that little contact there, but that was about it. But that was a superb racing. Radio then, as we see all the drivers celebrating. Good day for Red Bull and a very good day for the Aston Martin lot. Very good day. Once again, your classification for provisional results: Soybean in P1, Julian in P2, Cos in P3, Brizen in P4, Fat Cat in P5, Tatus in P6, Mick in P7, Tix in P8, P9 to the Williams driver, Gravy running off final points paying position, Sinead P11, and then all the DNFs making our way down to P16. I believe that is 5 DNFs today. So there you go. That is the race done and dusted. Let me know what you think in the chat. And yeah. Here we go. Oh, did he? I mean, if he got damage and he managed to get P4 out of it, and he scored what is that, 12 points? I think Brisbane would be very happy with that. But let's see if we could get any interviews today. So bear with for just a moment, chat. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves, and I will find who would like an interview. Top 3 interviews. We'll do the top 3. And hopefully we get some today, because I'd love to. I'd love to. And I believe we have. We've got Cos in the waiting room and Julian in the waiting room. So both Aston Martins, we'll both get them in the VC, because that was a superb race for both of them today. Yes. Shall we? Just wait to get into the advanced stage. Get to the Aston Martin livery car, bring both drivers up, and go from there. So just bear, if you're in the waiting room and you're watching the stream, just bear with, give me a few mementos and I will be with you. Hope. If the game wants to load quicker, please. That was some lovely racing. So we'll get the 2 Aston Martins first. Then we'll... actually, no. We'll go with Soybean first. Then we'll get the Aston Martins. We'll go in order. So we'll go P1 and then both Aston Martins. And that'll be us, I believe, done and dusted for today. So let's do that, shall we? We'll do it in podium order. It's P1, P2, P3. So... session, and let's go ahead and get the lovely lot ready to have a bit of a chit chat with quickly. Rightio then, let's go to showroom. Gotta remember where I need to go because my brain is just dead. We'll go with the F1 2024 cars if we can. Red Bull doesn't need to be on there, so we can't do Red Bull. That's just unfortunate, but we'll go with the 2023 cars. Let's go on board with the Red Bull. And let me just quickly alt tab, get the Discord open, bring up our podium winner today, the race winner, the lovely Soybean, known as Champ Bean. Bring him up. Good day, Soybean. How you doing, buddy? Give me just a second, because the stream cannot hear you. Let me just talk for me again. There we go. Okay, let me just quickly just add this, and then we can crack on with a few questions that I'd like to ask you. You should be working now, so Soybean. Once again, welcome to the interview box with myself, Mr. Flynn. And may I just say, what a superb race that was for you today. Do tell us, though, how was the qualifying session for you, as it was obviously a bit treacherous and a bit wet? And how was the race outcome as well?
Yeah, well, obviously last week didn't go as planned. Safety car very much ruined my race, and then the penalty afterwards as well dropped down to what P7, and then it was I just kind of I was like, okay, fine, give me a penalty then, and I was like, you know what, I don't actually want more penalties, so like I can't get a penalty if no one ever sees me, so I just decided, I'm just gonna drive away from everyone.
Just disappear
So
into the distance.
So yeah, during quali, obviously low grip anyway in Vegas, and it's raining. And when there's lower grip, there's a bigger skill gap. Therefore, easy pole. I don't even know how much it was messed up a few. I think I ping ponged off the last two walls, but it was still good. Uh, yeah, pole position. And my teammate at the start of the race was like, you know what, so I mean, if you just start on the sauce, then you'll have the most boring race of your entire life. So then I was like, you know what? Boring sounds pretty good to me. So I went on the softs, and then at the start, I was driving like an absolute melon, locking my rears every corner, driving into walls and whatnot. And then I was like, why am I driving like a melon when I can just be Max Verstappen?
True.
So
That is
then,
very true.
so then I was just, smooth on the power, smooth on the steering, smooth on the brakes, take care of the tires, no ERS, for the whole race basically. No ERS was used from what lap 15 to lap 23. I was just doing my own thing, pulling the gap. There was some Aston Martin DRS swapping going on as well, but they still didn't catch up to me. But so that's good. Just doing my own thing, pulling the gap, pulling it even more, pulling it even more. So yeah, no one ever saw me. My teammate was right, and I
Mhm.
won the race. So that's just how it goes, I guess. But
Pretty
yeah.
much. Very, very dominant from your form. And your teammate get involved with a few collisions there on lap one and losing his left winglet, but managing to pull back, I'd say, a very good result into the points paying position. So yeah, like I said, dominant victory from you once again. We could call you, like you said, Max Verstappen. Round number 3 next weekend, and we've got a little bit of a sprint race, so it's going to be quite exciting with that one. We're going to the track of Suzuka, though. What is your... Is there any ups and downs? Is it your favourite circuit? Is it not your circuit you would want to be at? What is your opinion on that one?
Well, I do think Suzuka is a great track, and I have done it a few times before, so I can't use that excuse that I haven't done it before. But yeah, it's a pretty decent track. Not my best, but it's last time we raced there, I think I went from last to first during the race, so
Well, there you
it's
go.
not too bad. And Rico was there that time, so he's not here anymore, but we'll see. And yeah, I think we can do well still. And with the sprint, just opportunity for more points, I guess. So hopefully it goes like it did this time round, and we can just keep winning it. So yeah.
I mean, exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to keep winning and take that Drivers' Championship title and the Constructors' title and, just be the dominant team on the F1 grid. Well, apart from that, that is basically all my questions answered, and that's all I had for you today. Is there anything else you'd like to add? If not, then feel free to leave, and we'll catch you next week with the Wonderful Darkness, taking back Tier 1 comms.
Yeah, can't wait for light mode to be back on the sticks. But yeah, I mean next week's just try and improve on it. Obviously try and get the win in the sprint as well. Maybe fastest lap. I could have got it this time as well, but I wasn't expecting uh people to box at the end, so I didn't really push too hard for it. But I can't be Max Verstappen without getting everything, so we might
It's
have to
true.
do that next time. And yeah, that's it, I guess. So I'll see you next week.
Yes, we'll see you next week indeed. Take care, have a good one, and congratulations on the race victory once again.
Thank you very much.
Rightio then, that was the lovely Soybean. We're now going to get our top 2 and 3, the double Aston Martin podiums. Let's bring them up now. Hello, Mr. Cos. I'll bring your team up as well. Julian. The pair of you today did absolutely fantastic. And there is something I'd like to ask. I did see Julian starting to back off just a little bit for you, Cos. Was that a little bit of, shall we say, team play happening at Aston Martin today?
Well, You would have to ask more Julian for that. I mean, at one point I did ask him after I passed Brisson, I think, to back off a little because then I would have the DRS, and after I passed Fat Cat, I just dumped my whole battery. So I think I don't know if he backed off there, but I think he was just not using. In particular, I mean, it was difficult the second stint because right out of the pit box, I got squeezed into the wall on the exit by Boosty, got wing damage, and I was driving the whole second stint with half a wing broken,
Oh, damn.
and it was still the car was feeling pretty good still. So, yeah, the,
Good
Yeah,
to hear. What about you, Julian?
yeah, it was a tough race, but I think Kos will get the can get this podium, and I'll play a little my play game with the DRS and the ERS management. Also, I
yeah.
Yeah,
almost didn't. I didn't all. I didn't use battery.
I mean, yeah, this was what you want. You want to save battery for this track because obviously so many straights and just
Yeah,
easily to get overtaken. But from the pair of you as well, then, how was your interesting wet conditions qualifying, followed by the race? What did you feel like for your first stint, and how did quali go for the pair of you?
mm,
Um, for at least for me, the qualifying was pain. Like whenever I had like a good lap going, I was at one point improving like 6 tenths in one of my laps, and then I would just bottle it all in a single corner, and it was just really painful because I had so much time everywhere, but I just couldn't hook the lock up. And I mean, it could have been at least P2 easily if I didn't mess up every lap, and probably pole if I hooked up one of my last few laps where I was improving 4 to 5 tenths there. But I think Julian did a lot better overall in qualifying. I mean, he felt a lot more comfortable. And to pass that into the first stint, which was kind of tough, because there's a lot of cars around you. And
Yeah,
with the DRS, it's just impossible to pull away. And lap one, I had an incident with skill issue, and I mean, I looked at the stream and I apologized to him after the race, but looking at the stream, he just drives into the wall, and and he has a bit of more room to work with. So I felt that was a bit strange from him. But yeah, and I think Julian was quite okay in the first stint, weren't you, Julian?
yeah, yeah. It was quite okay. Almost with battle with the fat cat.
I mean that
Choosing me
was
battling all over the place with the boosty.
I did see that. That was quite exciting to watch, and also, yeah, Fat Cat, all over the place a little bit, hitting the balls here and there in dry conditions. So that was a little bit interesting, but also very, very entertaining. So that was lovely from the pair of you to hear how your quali went and how your first start of the race went. But so I want to ask as well, could we see and Aston Martin 2 and 3 once again heading to round number 3 at the Circuit of Suzuka with a sprint race involved? Could we see a sprint race 2 and 3 and then make history and see a 2 and 3 in the main race as well? Is that even possible, maybe?
Which
Uh,
will do our best.
yeah, I mean, Suzuka for me at least, it's an okay circuit. I just have very bad luck at it. I mean, last race I drove, someone hit me in the rear in one of the first few laps and gave me like a slightly broken wing, and I had to drive the whole race with like a slightly broken wing, and I still won somehow. But
Oh, wow.
in Japan particularly, yeah. I once had a league race where someone spun me out and I had to drive the whole race with that red wing, and that was just undrivable. So let's hope that tendency of getting my rear wing broken does not repeat itself. And yeah, hopefully we can get a good result today. With the qualifying, couldn't really do much to fight against soybean. But I mean, I think if after the pit stop I didn't have the incident with Boosty, I could have been fighting with we could have maybe tried to catch up with soybean definitely, because I mean, with my broken wing I still had really good pace, and just passing one another down the straight we were like gaining so much on him, but just we couldn't make it into anything at the end. So
Yeah,
who knows. Let's see
J-
if there's good pace in Japan.
yeah. Japan is one of my probably one of my best tracks. I got
Oh,
the recent victory 2 weeks ago. It was my 26th career win. in whole leagues.
Oh, so we
Yeah.
might see Julian on pole for the start and finish of the race. Maybe we'll have to watch out and see for that one.
I'll try my best.
Lovely. That is what I love to hear. So thank you very much for telling me your thoughts and your ideas for the next round at Suzuka for round 3. Unfortunately, I won't be in the comms box, but Darkness, the lovely person himself, will be back to take over for Tier 1. So I hope you enjoyed my comms today, by the way. Hopefully it was okay and, you know, the same enthusiasm like Darkness as well, fingers crossed. But yeah, that is pretty much me done and dusted with all my questions and answers. If there's anything else you'd like to add, feel free to express now. If not, feel free to leave and we'll catch you at the next one for round 3 with Darkness taking charge of comms again for Tier 1.
Flint,
Yes.
pleasure to be here with you as always. And yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. I have to go actually. That's why I'm maybe cutting a little short.
No, it's
So,
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so I'll be seeing you hopefully next week in the comm box again, unless it's Darkness commentating.
The same.
Alrighty.
And, yeah, and see you.
Fine.
That is them two gone. But yeah, that's everything done and dusted for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure to tune in for us next week around Suzuka for Tier 1s, 2, live on the Twitch. Tiers 3 and 4 won't be broadcasted live, but they will be happening in the background. So if you want to be part of an awesome, amazing, fantastic community here at Phoenix Simsport, the Discord link is down below. If you're not following us as well, do make sure to hit that follow button to keep up to date when we do go live on the Twitch social stuff like that. And if you've got a Twitch Prime sub lurking in the background, did you know it's free? So if you want to support us as well, then feel free to hit that subscribe button and join the lovely family today. And yes, once again, happy Easter from all of us here at Phoenix Sport. Hopefully you're having a wonderful and fantastic day. If you've got chocolate or if you've got, you know, some alcohol, you never know. Yes, this is me, Mr. Flynn, signing off. Dance will be back next week for Tier 1, and I might be back in the comms box, especially for ACC and F2. Not too sure about Tier 2. We'll keep our eyes peeled on that one, but guys, you've been fantastic. You've been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. From me, Mr. Flynn, I'm signing off, and bye-bye.